All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 323rd District Court's detention docket for Monday, January 4th, 2021. Comply with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 30 related to the coronavirus. We are not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are using a remote software, Zoom, for these detention hearings. We do have this detention hearing broadcast live on YouTube in order to comply with the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 13, which is the Open Courts Act that provides public access to the courtroom to see what occurs in our courtrooms. No portion of this broadcast may be recorded, broadcast, or published. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months to the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. The court does expect everyone to behave appropriately. This is a court setting, so please behave as if you were in court. That means please be free from any distractions. Please do not be in bed, laying down in pajamas, in the laboratory, taking showers. What else is there? Have we had? Driving, no moving backgrounds or blinking Christmas lights. Please refrain from having bright lights from behind your head, which shadows out your face. No domesticated animals crossing the screen. I think what else have we had? Yes, no pajamas, appropriate clothing. Yes. All right. And so, and if you are not an officer of the court, you're expected to have your camera on. And everyone. Okay, great. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with James Arango.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Arango. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Masek, is here. Good morning, Mr. Masek.
Good morning, Judge. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. All right.
The parents are just coming in right now.
Okay.
Oh, how?
Great. Okay, Christy Spencer, first of all, please mute yourself because we can hear you. And second, please turn on your camera. All right, Mr. Arango, you're 15 years old.
Yeah.
You were here, let's see. On Saturday, police were dispatched for shots fired called. Somebody said that they were firing shots into her fence when we went there. They saw a female standing inside a vehicle with 2 males inside. They could smell weed. So they searched the car and the individuals. Evidently, you had a .40 caliber pistol in your left pocket. It was reported stolen in 2011. And there was marijuana second handgun located in the vehicle. All right, well, James, here's, we did give a UA. Mr. Nava?
Yes, sir.
What were the results of the UA?
They were positive for THC.
Okay, just THC. All right, so James, here's my deal. I have a pretty hard stance on kids with guns. I'm a big Second Amendment fan, big gun fan. I'm just not a big fan of kids with guns. So whenever kids are found with guns, I detain them. I want to see how you behave, see if there's any other issues going on before I decide to release you. This is really for the safety of you as well as the community. So you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. Keep your behavior level up. That's your way to get out of here. All right, thank you, Mr. Arango. Christy Spencer, please turn on your camera.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Spencer. Jabari Ballo.
Oh, let's do it.
Oh, was Megan gonna be able to speak to
I'm gonna judge real quick on the initial one.
All right, Mr. Ballo, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Willett. Mr. Willett, are you here this morning? No. All right. Who's our attorney every day?
No, Your Honor, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay, there we are. All right, Mr. Willett, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. All right, so Mr. Ballo, you're 14 years old and you have no prior history with us. On New Year's Eve at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, police were dispatched for domestic. Mom said that you were outside on the patio when she asked you to come in. You became angry and threw 2 rocks at her. First one missed, second one hit her in the arm. So is Mom here?
Yes.
Okay, Mom, so, all right, tell me what's going on. It's not normal behavior to tell somebody to come in from a patio and they throw rocks at you.
Yes, well, this has been going on for some time now.
Okay,
And
how long has he had this attitude problem?
I say for the past 2 years, it's progressed. It's gotten worse.
Has there been an incident that started this regression?
Just not following my orders at home, and then it leading to him hopping off the patio, going outside, destroying the property where I live, and throwing rocks. This ain't the first time he's done this. Police have been to my apartment several times.
So has your son ever seen a mental health doctor?
Yes, he has seen one, and I've been having a lot of problem getting him into treatment due to this virus going on.
Okay, so what is he diagnosed with?
He's had several different ones. They say ADHD, impulse disorder, then they say ODD.
Well, hold on. I heard ADHD. What's the next one?
Impulse disorder.
Impulse disorder. Okay,
And
what's the next one?
Another time was ODD.
Okay, is he anything else?
No,
Okay, is he on medication?
no,
Okay, was he prescribed medication?
no. The last time he was prescribed was when he was about 10.
Okay, when's the last time he saw a doctor?
He was in the Yes Waiver program in April.
Okay,
They assigned him a mentor, do the TAP. The guy came 4 times, never showed up again.
okay. So when's the last time he saw a doctor?
He just went in November to Springwood. They recommended that we just get family therapy. They wouldn't take him in because they said he's not suicidal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Willett, do you think a psych eval is appropriate for this one?
Yes, I would like for him to get a psychiatric evaluation and get medicated and get some anger management classes and some type of family therapy for the both of us.
I was asking Mr. Willett, the attorney.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. She answered pretty good for me. So, Your Honor, I guess I'd have a question. Do you want him to come home though?
With some stipulations. I mean, if he could be on some type of probation, because soon as he's told to do something, this is when the rage comes.
Mom, you said ADHD, impulse disorder, and what else? ODD. Oppositional defiance.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, kind of surprised with those that they haven't prescribed anything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if this behavior has been going on for quite a while. All right, so Mr. Ballo, this is what I'm going to do. I'm concerned about the safety of those around you. When you destroy property, that's one thing. When you're actually throwing rocks at another human being, especially your mother, that makes me really concerned about the safety of the home that I want to release you to. So I'm going to go ahead and order a psychiatric evaluation. You'll see a doctor and see if a prescription can help. If it cannot help, that's fine. We'll figure something else out. If it can help and they prescribe something, then you have to take the medication to get to level 1.0. And if you're not level 1.0, I'm not going to release you. All right, you have to follow all the rules here. And the reason why, Mr. Ballo, is because if I ever return you back to your mom, you have to follow all her rules. So just like when you're on the patio, she told you to come in, and you didn't want to come in, here at Kimbo, if they tell you got to go somewhere, you got to go somewhere. Otherwise, you lose points. You got to show me you can behave and follow the rules. That way, I can give you that chance to go home, and you can follow your mom's rules. All right, Mr. Ballo? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Samisha Burks.
That's it? Okay, thank you.
Chris Mulder, can you please turn on your camera? R. Bell, please turn on your camera. All right. So, Mr. Burks, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days. You're also 17 years old. So I do have the discretion in deciding whether to keep you here at our juvenile facility or downtown in the adult jail. So you're brought in yesterday because we issued a warrant for you for violating your electronic monitor. You left home at 7:50 and returned at 8. That was, let's see, Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Okay, so his EM violation was yesterday and we brought him in on the same day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And it was actually just only a 10-minute violation.
Right. Okay, so Mr. Burks, you did not have an approved timeout And so you said you went to store. You're on probation for unlawfully carrying a weapon and for possession of a controlled substance. And we tested you and you're negative. So you were just placed on probation less than a month ago. All right, so Ms. Thomas, what is your recommendation for Mr. Burks?
Your Honor, if you're okay with it, I just started working with him, haven't had a whole lot of time. I believe TCAP just started. Prior to this, he has had no other EM violations. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with him being released to mom.
All right, so Mr. Burks, you are negative, which means you are not smoking weed or using drugs while you're on my probation, which is a good thing. Mr. Burks, I want to use this as kind of a good teaching moment. All right. Now, your probation officer, Ms. Thomas, is a phenomenal probation officer, but she is also someone that you don't want to waste her time, all right? Because she has no problem coming to me and asking me to sign a warrant for you because you're not engaging in the services that she's trying to provide you. She's not going to waste her time, basically, is what I'm saying. If you work with her and do what you're supposed to do, she's going to do amazing things and get you through this so you don't ever have to see me again. But if you play these little games with her, she doesn't have time for the games, all right? I don't have time for the games, all right? So hopefully this is just a quick lesson to remember that when you got on probation, you were asking me for one more chance, right? You're asking me to give you a chance to prove to me that you don't need to be committed or go to placement or anything like that, that you can be in the community. Is that fair, Mr. Burks? Okay, so you're asking for that chance, right? Okay, but when you say you're asking for that chance, you're telling me you're gonna do everything like you're supposed to, which means follow the rules that Ms. Thomas lays out for you. Is that right? Okay, so we're gonna try this again? All right, Mr. Burks, go, but don't waste Ms. Thomas's time. I'm telling you, sometimes she even scares me, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Burks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Thomas, we're gonna release him on EM.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Hamia Carlisle.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, Arbel, this is your second and last warning. Please turn on your camera. All right, Tamia, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. Taylor, is here. Good morning, Ms. Taylor.
Good morning.
All right, so Ms. Carlisle, I see you're 14 years old. See, on January 2nd at about noon, police were dispatched for a disturbance. You were staying with an aunt in Fort Worth and were supposed to go back to your mom the next day in Forney. You having problems with relatives and decided to pack yourself up. Then you evidently purposely kicked out a sliding glass window. But they only told the police that you were having behavior problems in Forney and smoked weed within the last couple of days. And so we're unable to get a hold of your family. All right, so we're still looking for family. Mr. Kral, have we located family yet?
Yeah, Your Honor, update. I spoke with mom. They were able to contact her yesterday as well. She's having car troubles, car's in the shop. I did provide her the Zoom link. I do not see her on here this morning. So
Okay.
I'm not sure, but she is working on getting her car fixed and getting up here.
What county is Forney in? Do we know?
I want to, maybe Collin County, Judge?
Yeah, I think it's Colin.
Dallas.
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Kaufman
It's
County.
either
All right.
Kaufman or Dallas. It's on the
Yeah.
border, Judge.
Okay. Well, all right, Mr. Kroll, I'm okay releasing her to her family on this. Make sure the family understands that before we release this child to the family, that they are responsible for bringing the child back. And if they fail to do so, that we can issue a warrant for the family member that picks her up, right? So I don't know if the judge in Kaufman County wants us to do adjudication, transfer, dispo, or if they want us to just transfer everything over to them. So I'm open to either one. I'm not going to sign the detention or release order yet. If you can just follow up with the court later today, as soon as you get a better idea from the family what to do. You know what? I'm actually, because we don't know, I'm going to sign a detention order, but I am okay releasing her to the family as soon as they get here. This is just because they have car problems, just in case it takes them a couple days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right, so Ms. Carlisle, do you understand what's going on? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm holding you here just because there's nobody to release you to, but as soon as your family comes, I'm okay releasing you to your family. However, if you don't come back to court, there'll be a warrant issued for both you and your parents, okay? All right, thank you. Charisma Carter. Okay, Ms. Bell, I warned you twice, I requested
Your Honor.
twice for you to
Your
turn on
Honor.
camera. I'm removing you.
Your
from the
Honor.
discussion. Yes.
Mr. Bell, it's with CPS.
All right, okay. Then, okay. Mr. Bell, please change your name so it notes that you're with the department. All right, Ms. Carter, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you here, release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Ms. Craven. Ms. Craven, I think I saw you earlier.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Craven. All right. All right, so Ms. Carter. There we go. All right, Ms. Carter, you're 17. See, on New Year's Day, Wise County Sheriffs brought you here because we issued a warrant for you back in November for cutting off your EM. Back on November 29th, we got a tamper alert after we talked to Mom. We confirmed that you're not at home. You cut off your EM bracelet. You were picked up in Decatur and transferred here by the Wise County Sheriffs. You were in the company of 2 adult males. One was on parole and the other on probation. And evidently you were using heroin. So we give you a drug test. You're testing positive for methamphetamines and amphetamines. Part of your probation was to inpatient treatment. You went in the program and then it tested positive for a medical condition that told that you had to quarantine at home. Okay. And then during the quarantine period, that's when you cut off your EM and RAM.
It was towards the end of the.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And she is on probation for felony probation, felony drug possession. All right. Well, Charisma.
I have I think a program accepted me again. It's the one I was supposed to go to after I quarantined. It's a Phoenix House.
Well, that's something to talk to your attorney about. Maybe we can figure it out, but I feel like if I was to release you, you're likely not to return to court. You cut off your EM, so I don't think you're going to be where you're supposed to be. And the law says if I don't think you're going to return to court, then I'm supposed to detain you. Okay. Do we have a parent here for Ms. Carter?
Yes, Your Honor. She, Westmoreland, Ms. Westmoreland. I did see her.
Oh, hello, Jenny Westmoreland. All right, Ms. Westmoreland. Hope you understand what's going on, but I'm going to go and detain her. I feel like she's going to be a danger to herself, as well as her risk of absconding and not returning to court. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Carter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, next, we have Charles Foltz. All right, Mr. Foltz, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Hamrick has been appointed as your attorney. Ms. Hamrick, are you here this morning? Okay, I don't think Ms. Hamrick can make it. So, Mr. Sierra, I'm going to ask you to fill in for Ms. Hamrick.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sierra. All right, so, Mr. Foltz, you're 15. You're on probation for family violence. Oh, hold on a second. So, Mr. Lewis, what is permanent probation?
It is probation, Your Honor.
I don't think I've seen that before.
Where are you seeing it on the report, sir?
February 5th, 2019. Disposition, permanent probation on October 15th, 2019.
I haven't seen that before either.
Okay.
Your Honor,
He is
that might
on
be
supervision
when,
at this point.
Your Honor, that could be
that's a-
when, I'm sorry.
That's a probation we took from another county that became permanent with our county.
Oh, that makes sense. All right.
And he is currently off of that supervision.
All right. So he is not on any supervision, but he has been charged with 3 prior counts, separate counts of family violence. All right, so December 29th in Euless, the police were contacted by your mom, said that you were trying to run away again, and they wanted the police to come and talk to you. So police initially decided not to come out, saying that you'd already talked to Charles several times about the misbehavior. Officer asked mom what happened to prompt her calling that night. She said she had attempted to discipline you by taking away clothes that was given to you as Christmas gifts, and you got upset. Physical confrontation, and bit each other. Mom said that Charles was, at the time she was speaking to the police, calm. And so that's why he decided not to come out. Then later on, police were called again saying that you had punched mom in the face and she was refusing medical attention. When they got there, police met with mom in the living room, said she had entered your room, tried to remove the gifted clothing. You got upset, tried to stop her again. Evidently, you elbowed mom in the face, hit her in the eye. Police spoke to you, confirmed a physical altercation, and she was physically restraining you by being on top of you, and while you're trying to get away, you said you unintentionally hit her. And we have mom here?
Yes.
Yes, sir. She's in the parent room.
Okay. All right, mom, what's going on?
Yes, on the evening of December 29th.
No. I mean, I want the bigger picture. What's going on with Charles?
The bigger picture with Charles is, I know during the holidays it's hard for him because his dad has repeatedly refused to have him. And I've tried to, along with other friends, to try to make as much as Christmas for him. But I'm like, son, I can't make your dad take you. But then that's been a big issue for the longest time is, well, how come? It's like you took the older brother, but you didn't take me. And it's like, I'm the blame for it. And I'm like, son, I have nothing to do with it, even though their dad probably feels like I am.
So does he have ongoing behavioral problems?
He's had some in the past, along with the 3 prior assaults.
Were you the victim of all 3 priors?
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, Charles, I'm not. Look, the thing is, if your goal is to wear those clothes, you're not going to wear those clothes here at Kimbo. All right. What you have to understand is you do not have a job. You don't pay rent. You don't pay for clothes. You don't pay for your phone, the internet, groceries, gas, electricity, any of that. As a child, you're supposed to be a child. You're supposed to follow your mom's rules. I see this pattern of behavior with this family violence that I'm really not happy with. I'm going to let you know that you have the right to be upset if you're disciplined. What you do not have the right is to infringe on your mom's right to be free from being struck, or anybody else's. So anyways, that being said, Charles, what you have to learn is there's certain things in life you can change, certain things in life you cannot change. And the ones you can't change, you just have to learn how to accept it. That's what I do. All right, that's what I try to do. That's what grown-ups do. So you're on your way to becoming a grown-up. You have to learn how to accept things you cannot change. If your mom says she's taking away clothes, she takes away clothes. That's the way it is. You never had the clothes to start with. She's the one that gave it to you. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and detain you. We're going to figure out after your behavior level if you can actually control yourself and the situation and your reactions. If you can, I'm okay with that idea of releasing you, but I'm doing so cautiously because I have a legal duty to protect your mother from what's going on, from any kind of violence from you. So Charles, make the best of your time. Learn to accept the things that you cannot change. It's my decision to keep you here, and then keep your behavior level up, and we'll review this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sierra, again, it's just your camera placement, but if you can not block the camera, I'd appreciate that.
Yes, Judge. Sorry.
So thank you. All right, Lucas Gallegos.
Sir.
Mr. Gallegos. That's here. Is Mr. Gallegos on his way?
I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Gallegos, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. This is one I'm very familiar with your case. Mr. Lofton.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Where are we as far as the next setting, like progress on the
Judge,
case?
we're set for trial in a couple of weeks, and we're probably going to have to get together with the court, and I'll come down there and we'll sit and talk. I don't know what to do. So we'll be ready. We will be ready whenever the court tells us, we will be ready, Judge, whenever we're deemed ready, whenever it's safe and the governor says we can, or you say we can, Your Honor. So
okay, thank you. Are you invoking right to confrontation for in person?
Yes, sir. I think with what it's pending with, I think we need that, Judge.
Sure. No, I understand. All right, Mr. Gallegos. So this is a case of murder, and I found previous cause previously. I feel like you're a danger to yourself and to others if I was to release you. Fortunately, we do have a court date set for January 14th, and we will see what happens then. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gallegos. Thank you, Mr. Lofton. Abigail Grant. Hello, Ms. Grant. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to attorney. Mr. Hall has been appointed attorney. I don't think I've seen Mr. Hall yet. So Mr. Sierra is going to go ahead and substitute in. Good morning, Mr. Sierra.
Morning, Judge.
All right, so Abigail, you're 15. Let's see. On December 30th, police responded to a domestic. Mom said that you and your brother got into an argument in the kitchen. You got a knife and told your brother you're going to kill him. The brother grabbed your hand with a knife and hit you in the face. So you grabbed another knife and chased him and the mother to the mother's bedroom. Then they locked themselves in the bedroom and called police. When the police got there, they detained you. You said you were having homicidal thoughts early in the day and was taken to JPS. At JPS, did not feel like it was necessary for further evaluations. Evidently, JPS got that one wrong. All right, well, do we have a parent here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mom, I'm assuming this is not the first time this has happened.
No, she's attacked me. She's been hospitalized before.
Okay, has she ever been prescribed medication?
She is currently diagnosed with anxiety and depression. So
Okay.
she takes medication.
And she's what?
She takes medication.
Okay. Was she taking medication on the 30th?
Yes.
All right. When's the last time she saw a doctor?
The 30th? No, well, yeah, the 30th.
On the day this happened?
Yes, at JPS.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Before that.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Did they adjust her medication then?
No. The last time it was adjusted, well, hold on. Yes, they did. They upped a medication.
Okay. Did you notice any kind of correlation between change of medication and her behavior?
No.
No. So despite the medication, she's been like this? Has the medication not helped her aggressive behavior?
Not really. I mean, I've kept telling her doctors that I was worried that she was going to hurt me or her brother. And they said that basically they can't do anything until it happens. So.
Okay. Did you bring the medications with you, Mom?
She has them. I brought them to her to take.
Does your daughter have any particular triggers?
This one was over Christmas cookies. Her and her brother were fighting over Christmas cookies, and I said, let her have them.
How old is the brother?
He is 14. He has autism though.
Okay.
And I told him to just let her have them, and I will bake more cookies tomorrow, and they'll be better, fresher. And that's when she just started screaming, saying, I give him everything. And then she grabbed a knife. So
Mom, I have to, are your cookies that good?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
I'm kind of curious now.
anything can trigger it. It doesn't, it's not anything.
Okay. All right, Mom, this is what I want to do. I want to detain her for now, and I want to see what her behavior level is like here, okay? I'm not really wanting to refer for a new psychiatric evaluation yet. If it turns out she's taking her medication, she can behave. That's going to give me some information. If the medication is not helping here, I may order another psychiatric evaluation here in our facility. But basically what I want to do, because of how dangerous this was, or I guess allegedly repeated attempts at getting a knife, I just want to pause things a little bit and slow down, just kind of tap the brakes. Let's see how it goes here, see if she can behave, control her emotions, and then we'll reassess this one going forward, okay?
Okay.
So this is really for us. I know you want her home, but I also know that you want to protect yourself as well as your son. And so I just want to slow down just because of how serious how quickly this escalated, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so meanwhile, please take advantage of the phone calls that we provide. Abigail, please use your time wisely. You need to behave here. We have our behavior levels. You need to be a level 1 outstanding for me to release you. If you're not a level 1 outstanding, you will not be released from here, okay? So let's figure this one out. But Abigail, we'll see you in a couple weeks and see how you're doing, and then review your case, and I can make a decision whether to release you or not. All right? All right, thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Mom. Kendrick Giles. All right, Mr. Giles, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing. I'm reviewing a case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Mulder is your attorney. Let's see. So now you've been here 160 days. You are currently level 1 outstanding. This is the one with the car accident, Grapevine, Good Samaritan. You stole the Good Samaritan's truck, allegedly, and then went on a chase, was located in South Lake. Canines were deployed. And so we have a determined sentence hearing. Mr. Victorson, when we say determined sentence hearing, or Mr. Mulder, when we say determined sentence hearing, we're talking about adjudication dispo?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't get my camera to turn on.
Oh, that's all right. I saw you earlier. I know you're. Okay. So.
Oh.
All right. February 8th. Is there a reason why it's set so far out? That's the earliest we could get it? Or is that how much time you needed?
Oh, is that for me, Judge?
Yes, sir.
That's just what we picked last time. I didn't have a lot to say about it.
All right. No, I understand.
I think we're set for the pretrial though on the 14th.
Okay. All right. Is this a jury trial that we're looking at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Of course, we should be prepared for us not to have a jury trial that soon.
I understand.
But I want to go ahead and go with the pretrial stuff, just so at least we can get some of the pretrial motions and other stuff out of the way. But as far as, I don't know if we'll actually have jurors available first week of February. All right.
All right. Well, I'll be there on the 14th in person.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
So
Mulder.
everybody's aware, I've got pretrial set for January 29th, not the 14th.
Oh, is it the 29th? Okay.
Right. Yeah, we do a couple weeks earlier just to hear, the court can hear the motions and resolve any issues before trial.
All right. Very good.
So, Mr. Giles, just because of your flight risk, I'm afraid that if I release you, you would not come back to court. I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding, but with multiple stolen cars, evading arrest, it just gets me very concerned about you not reappearing. So, all right. So, Mr. Giles, I'm going to go ahead and detain you for the time being. Thank you. All right. Rodney Moore.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. And as noted previously, this court has made an ongoing finding that the interest of the public and the interests of the child are better served by not closing these proceedings in compliance with Texas Family Code, Chapter 54.08. Mr. Moore, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. Currently, that you agreed to probation for the injury to a child and with placement. And so we are currently in the process of getting placement for you. And we're waiting for a bed to become available. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you, Mr. Moore, until the bed is available. Hold on a second. Is your grandpa here?
Should be, Your Honor.
I'm trying to see him.
Hold on a second. Miss Barrows? No, Miss Barrows is here. I don't see your grandpa. All right. Mr. Moore, if you want to tell me something, I'm sure your attorney wants you not to. If you want to ask me a question, I don't mind answering your question. So do you have a question for me?
No, I was just trying to see if I see my papa. That's it.
Can you say that louder?
That's what I was gonna wave it, but I just wanted to see him.
I can't hear a single thing. Like, I don't
I
understand.
was gonna wave it, but I just wanted to see him, but I don't see him.
Ms. Barrows, do you understand what he's saying?
Your Honor.
He just wants to see his pawpaw because he's not been able to see him before he leaves today.
Oh. All right. Well, Mr. Moore, I'm sorry that your grandpa isn't here, but I know he's been here every other time. So we will go ahead and, hopefully he'll be here at the next 10-day hearing. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. So we have Jimmy Mugiraniza. All right, Jimmy, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing, deciding whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. The thing is, when you have a name like this, I recognize the name. Jeez. All right, 15 years old. So you're brought in April for theft, stealing a car, which the DA non-suited, and breaking into a car, DA non-suited, stealing a car, which you got placed on probation for. You violated your probation evidently in September 26th. You issued a warrant September 27th. You get arrested for criminal trespass in December, which the DA dismissed. Then now, this is all 2020. Going back, hold on a second. So Ms. Castillo.
Yes, Your Honor.
I guess this isn't really chronological. Wait a minute. So January, you also have another unauthorized use of motor vehicle, which the DA dismissed. February, we issued a warrant for you. February 15th, you're arrested for aggravated robbery, which you were placed on probation for. March, you get arrested for assault causing bodily injury. In December, we issued warrants for you for probation violations. Now, let's see, on Saturday, 4th was dispatched for a robbery call. Victim was cleaning his vehicle, saw two black males walking past his house. He saw them turn around, came up to his car. He told the two males to get away from his car. The accomplice then pointed a pistol from inside his jacket and told him to open the door. Victim said no. Then the accomplice pulled the slide back on the pistol, released it, chambering around and pointed at the victim. So the victim opened the door. So Jimmy then evidently got into the driver's side as the friend pointed the gun in the passenger side. And while the police were taking a report, the vehicle was spotted by a camera. There was a traffic stop. The vehicle took off. The vehicle exited the highway, could not maintain control, jumped the median, and the vehicle hit a pole. The accomplice took off running and was apprehended. Jimmy was in the driver's seat and apprehended from there. They found two Smith & Wesson pistols inside the car. All right, Jimmy. So you and I have seen each other before. You've seen detention hearings before. Do we have a parent here for Jimmy? Yes, all right. So, Jimmy, my thing is when kids have guns, I always detain them. When kids have used guns in a crime, That gives me extra caution. So I'm going to hold you here. I'm going to hold you here for a while to make sure I'm absolutely comfortable releasing you. The fact that you're on probation for robbery and now you get picked up for another aggravated robbery call using a gun.
So I didn't even rob
that gives me great concern about the safety of the community and safety of yourself. And so we should also, on this one, oh, we drug tested positive. You tested positive for marijuana and cocaine. So can we set this? Who's the attorney for
Edwin Youngblood, Your Honor.
Youngblood? Ms. Youngblood, are you here this morning?
I did not see him, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and set this for a motion to modify on the probation. We'll just set it for like 2 weeks out. So, and then is it Ms. Castillo? Is he on determinate sentence probation for the aggravated robbery?
No, he is not, Your Honor.
He's on the indeterminate. Okay. All right. That answers the question. All right. So, Jimmy, this is what the situation is. You're on probation for a felony level offense. You could be committed to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. Apparently, it seems like you violated one or more terms of your probation. So we're going to have a hearing on whether I should revoke your probation or not, commit you to TJJD or not. But we're going to have that within 2 weeks. We're just going to have that pretty quickly to move this case along. Okay? All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Samuel Shimirimana.
Your Honor, if I may mention, the gentleman that's going to be coming in with mother is there to translate.
Okay.
A family friend, I believe.
We'll wait for them. Kiara Smith, please turn on your camera.
You're ready, Judge.
All right, Samuel, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when the kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So currently you are not on probation. You have a pending case for theft of a firearm and burglary of a vehicle from May of this year. Victim said on May 7th, a firearm was stolen from his vehicle. He saw it happen on his security camera and identified Samuel. And when he opened the door, Samuel ran away. So you did not show up for court, and we issued a warrant for you for the burglary of a vehicle and theft of a firearm. And then now, evidently, you're with Jimmy with a gun, with another stolen gun, robbing somebody of his car and crashed out in the car. So, Samuel, at this point, you know how I feel about kids with guns. You know, I don't release them at the beginning. I wait till see how they're going to do. But the fact that you did not appear for court gives me I'm very concerned that you will not show up for court to take care of your business later on. So I'm going to go and detain you. Ms. Hester, please put a note. Do not release child without district judge permission. Yes, Samuel, if you want to tell me something, I don't think your attorney, Mr. Lofton, wants you to speak, but if you want to ask me a question, I think he's okay with me answering your question. So do you have a question?
Okay, sir.
Or do you want to tell me something?
Okay.
He's on mute. Could you please unmute him, please? So Samuel, do you have a question for me? Or do you want to tell me something?
Never mind. If my attorney don't want me to speak, then I'm not going to speak. But can I say
No,
something?
no, sir. No, sir. Please don't right now.
Okay, not the time to speak. All right. So your attorney's advising you to remain silent. I think you should listen to your attorney. Okay. All right. So thank you, Samuel. Imish Shrestha.
You want to explain the mom one?
Amish, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, You have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney is Mr. Willett. Good morning, Mr. Willett.
Good morning.
All right, so yesterday, 8 o'clock in the morning, police were dispatched for a possible DWI. Witness saw you driving southbound and northbound lanes on South Cooper. So they did a traffic stop, field sobriety test. You failed the test and were detained. Wow, it's been 2 years since you lack smooth pursuit and distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation in both eyes. So they had a search warrant for blood drawn, brought to our juvenile detention facility. All right. Do we have a parent here?
Yeah.
Your Honor, both parents are here.
Okay. So your mom and dad? All right. Was Imish in his car or y'all's car? Whose car was he in? Do you know?
Mine.
Mine? Okay. So he had your permission to be out in the car, right? I'm not talking about the alcohol. I'm just talking about he had permission to be in your car.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So knowing this, and I'm sure the police smelled the odor of alcohol on him, and I don't know what happened there, but mom and dad, I guess my question for you is, does Imish need to drive? Or
Well, I don't think so about how he got it. I have no idea.
No, I'm saying, does Imish need to drive? Does, like, for job, for school, for something like that?
So yesterday's no.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yesterday he don't need to go nowhere. So
In the future, if I was to release him to you, does Imish have a need to drive, or is it something that he can go without driving?
He's just learning for driving.
He's learning how to drive. Okay. So, but that doesn't answer my question. My question is, does Imish need to drive, or can he get to where he needs to go without actually driving himself?
I think he don't need to go nowhere.
He doesn't need to go nowhere. I think I agree with you, Dad. Okay. So if I release him to you, can you assure me that he will not be driving? Dad?
Not to drive?
If I release him to you, can you promise me he will not drive?
I'll try my best.
No, I need him more than try your best. Because my option is I release him to you, but then you would have to install ignition interlock devices in all your vehicles.
Okay.
Or as a parent, if you tell me he will not drive, I will release him to you without the ignition interlock requirement. Okay, so can you promise me he will not drive?
Yeah, I promise.
Okay. How many vehicles do y'all own?
I have 2.
2. Okay. One for you and one for your wife? Okay. But you can promise me he will not be driving. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does he have a license or just a permit?
He has permit.
He has a permit. All right. Does your son have a history of running away?
No.
What are his grades like in school?
I'm sorry?
What are his grades like at school?
11.
I'm sorry?
I have all A's and B's, Your Honor.
All A's and B's. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, I mentioned they should all be A's. Your parents gave up too much to come to this country for you to waste your time in school. All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and release Imish to his parents. Mom and Dad, remember, he cannot drive a vehicle.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
For Your Honor, for how long?
While this case is pending.
Okay.
All right.
I understand. Thank you.
Colby Smith.
Good morning, Judge Kim.
Morning. I feel like I never talk to you anymore since I don't do the weekend hearings.
Yes, sir, but fortunately, some kids are assigned to detention intake, so.
Yes. That's all right. All right, Colby, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. You have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So TJJD, I guess you're on parole. They issued a warrant for you in May, and you're arrested by Mansfield PD. Let's see, who is the adoptive father of your mother's boyfriend. And Officer confirmed your ID, confirmed the warrant, and you were arrested. There's no new offense. Do we know what he's on probation for, Ms. Lazarova?
He's on TJJD parole.
Right, do we know what he's on parole for?
This is Marquita Johnson. He's not on parole. He actually escaped from our medium restriction facility in 2019, and we have not seen him since then. And so he's been on the run for almost a year, and he's in custody. So I've actually never seen him because I'm new to the facility, but he's been on escape for about a year.
Ms. Johnson, you are with TJJD?
Texas Juvenile Justice Department. He actually was transitioned to us.
You work for TJJD?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Just in case you know, so I have a policy when a kid returns, we give him a drug test, and Mr. Smith tested positive for marijuana, methamphetamines, and amphetamines. All right. Would you like a urine sample to send off to the lab? We do presumptive tests.
Yes, if you could, please, sir, because that's what he was supposed to be seeking a 9-month treatment facility for that as well. Thank you.
So, Ms. Lazarova, let's go ahead and get another sample and send it off to, well, let's do a presumptive. And if it's presumptive, if he's clean by now, we'll go ahead and do a hair follicle test and provide that to TJJD. If it turns out that he's presumptive positive for all three, methamphetamines, marijuana, and amphetamines, let's send that to the lab for the levels. That way TJJD has that information for their use.
Will do.
Thank you.
And hopefully that helps the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. All right, so at this point, would the department like to come and pick him up?
Yes, we're working to get transport so we can come and get him and move him to a high restricted facility.
Okay, we'll go and do it. So let's, Ms. Lazarova, let's get that sample as soon as we can before it processes out of his system.
What's that mean by high restricted?
Mr. Smith, is not your turn to talk. In the meantime,
what you mean that my turn to talk?
Smith,
I just want to know.
what I mean by not your turn to talk means it's not your turn to talk. You need to be quiet. So, Ms. Lazarova, we'll go ahead and get that, as I said, about the UA sample. Does that make sense? We'll get another urine sample. We'll do the presumptive. If it's positive, we can send that to the lab. If it's negative, because it's metabolized, then we'll get a hair follicle test and we'll send that one off. Eventually get the results to the TJJD. I've signed a release order for the TJJD to pick them up whenever it's most convenient for y'all. All right. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Thank you, Ms. Lazarova. Thank you, Mr. Smith. I'm detaining you. DeQuaylen Spencer. Oh, this is one. I got two more. All right, DeQuaylen Spencer.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Spencer, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So, Mr. Spencer, 16 years old. You have a pending case for ag assault with a deadly weapon using a firearm. And then while that's going on, you picked up a case for marijuana and then picked up a case for assault bodily injury. Okay. So let's see, November 8th, about noon, Arlington was dispatched. They found, because Arlington PD found you and you had a warrant out of Fort Worth. When you were being detained, you had some weed in your pocket. According to the warrant, on May 9th, police were dispatched for a shooting. When they got there, victim was in the parking lot, had a gunshot wound. But this is the one shot in the leg by an AK-style rifle. It was a 10-day hearing. Yeah, Mr. Spencer, I'm just too concerned about the safety of the community. The fact there was a firearm was used and somebody was shot. If I was to release you, I feel like you'd be a danger to yourself or to others. So
Judge,
yes,
Judge,
Mr. Adichie.
I just want to be clear of what the court's position is. So we have this offense happen in May of last year, and he wasn't arrested until 5-6 months later. And he's been in detention now for 40 days. Is it to say, just to tell him you're not going home until your case is disposed, if you go home at all? Would that be the correct message to tell my client?
Well, so I'm not allowed.
And the reason I'm saying that, Judge, every single time we've come for detention hearing is the same reason. be on level 1 outstanding, I will consider whether to release you. He's done his own part. I'm just asking, I mean, instead of kind of stringing him on, hoping he will be released. And I understand the cost policy about guns. I clearly understand that. I just want clarity.
Correct. So I'm not allowed to give predictive or advisory opinions. Right? I can't tell you what I'm going to do.
I'm talking about the cost policy, Judge.
Yeah, Mr. Spencer, you have to understand, my policy is to go very slowly. When there's a gun involved, I really slow down. When a gun is actually used, I really slow down. And when somebody actually gets shot and seriously injured, I have to be absolutely comfortable. These detention hearings are not about whether you did the offense or not. They're simply about whether you're going to come back to court or not, and whether releasing you is a danger to yourself or to others, right? And it just takes a lot of time for me to be concerned about it. Evidently, the victim in this case was struck in the femoral artery, right? So you're talking about it's possible minutes away from dying. And the fact that the gun was used and put somebody in that situation where he's minutes away from dying, that really makes me slow down, right? So I can't promise anything one way or another. I do appreciate your level 1-0. You have been most currently since December 18th, right? I just have to be very, very careful and I'm very, very concerned whenever somebody's shot. You have a question for me, Mr. Spencer?
Yes, sir. Could I request to go to a treatment facility like TRC to get my?
That's something to do with your deal with your attorney. Okay, that's your attorney.
Spencer, you're talking about disposition options. When we get there, we'll cross that bridge. Okay. This is just for your detention, whether you to be released or not.
So, all right, Mr. Spencer, it's one of those, I hate to say it because I have released kids before that have used guns. I've released kids before that were here because of homicide, right? So there's no absolute rule. It's just I've got to be very, very careful about what I'm doing whenever a gun is used and somebody's seriously injured, all right? So I hope you understand the position that I'm in. And the biggest tragedy is if you didn't actually do this, because I'm presumed that you're innocent of this, okay? But given the facts that were told to me, I have to be very cautious about this. And I do believe the citizens of Tarrant County agree with me on this one, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Spencer.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate you.
Diane Thomas.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Thomas, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing.
Hello. How is your day? How's everything going?
My father?
I said, how is your day? How is everything going?
Oh, well, it's a new year. There's a lot of kids brought in. So I'm trying to weed through it and figure out which ones I can let go and which ones I have to keep here. All right. So if I make that same decision with you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Tillman is your attorney. Lala Watkins, nobody here wants to see the roof of your car. If you could please appear on camera. Thank you. All right. Ms. Tillman, are you here this morning?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there you are. Great. Good morning, Ms. Tillman.
Good morning.
Mr. Thomas, you're 15 years old. You were brought in for prevention intervention back when you were, I guess, 10. You've had no problems since. All right. So yesterday, Fort Worth PD brought you in. There was a hit on a stolen vehicle, and you saw the vehicle leaving the Buttercup Apartments. The vehicle fled, short chase. The vehicle stopped. The driver took off running and was detained, then transported to juvenile detention. He did not get a UA because he was unable to provide a sample. So mom said that you had permission to hang out with your cousin on that yesterday. Said no significant behavior with you in the home. She and your dad have joint custody. Dad lives in East Texas. You've been with mom for about 1.5 weeks. Diagnosed with ADHD. So mom, you are here, right?
Yes,
Okay. So was he taking his medication yesterday?
because school is out, he does not.
Oh, okay.
It's only for when he's in school.
Do you have his medication? Did dad send the medication with him?
No, he did not. It was kind of a just spur moment that I picked him up from dad, and he's just been out here with me. I was sick with a kidney infection, so he's been helping me out, and this unfortunate. So this is kind of new for all of us.
Yeah. You know, just being in the car. Mom, so Zion, I don't want you to say anything, okay? Don't put your attorney in a worse position. So mom, do you know where this car came from?
No.
Okay.
I got the call at 11:30 last night.
Do you have his medication? Can you, like, how?
I don't have it. All that, because Zion lives in East Texas, is with dad. We like I said, we share custody.
Which county? So Zion during the school year stays with dad?
Yes.
Okay. So what county does dad live in? What city does he live in?
Malakoff, Texas. So that's what Corsicana area. We're from California, so I'm not really familiar with it.
So Corsicana is down south in Ellis County.
Ellis, okay, that would be.
He's in the Corsicana area?
He's Malakoff, Texas.
So it's what, probably about 30, 45 minutes from you?
Oh, it's an hour and some change.
Okay. Okay.
On this, we don't have, I don't know. I'm a little just still shooken up with all this. Zion does not have a record of this type of thing. So I don't know what jumped into his spirit. I don't know what kids he was with, but this is not behavior of Zion Thomas.
Respectful to you?
I'm sorry?
You respectful to you?
Yes, very. Mannerable. Yes, ma'am. That is a must in my home.
Okay.
Zion's a good kid.
So my question then, if I was to release him to you, what's the plan for Zion?
Zion's school is back in, so he'll be going back home with his father, and that's where he will remain under his supervision. He is not, he only comes, and we just shared off, and then because of the holidays, he was here, but he's going to go back home, and then we're going to work through what comes next.
And dad does not report any behavior problems?
No.
All right, well, Zion, no situation is so bad that you can't make it worse, okay? Just remember that. That's something to look forward to in life, is when you dug yourself into a hole, the number one rule is to stop digging. If this is all true, that you were in a stolen car, if you had just stopped, that was bad. But if the police stopped you, you just stop and don't make it worse. But if it's true that you drove off, that made it worse. If it's true that you bailed and they had to run after you, that just made it worse. You understand that if this is all true, it was just you're digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper, okay? And
Yes,
your
sir.
mom and your dad will both tell you that no situation is so bad you can't make it worse. So at a certain point, you just stop making it worse. Now, of course,
Yes,
this
sir.
may not have happened. I'm just kind of using this as a allegory to tell you. So what I'm going to do, Zion, is I'm going to go ahead and release you to mom for you to return, go back to school, okay? Your case may be transferred back to Henderson County where you live, or it may be resolved here. That's really up to the judges and the juvenile probation departments to decide. Doesn't matter to me either way. I just want to make sure that you can make good decisions from now on, okay? Zion, good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. Just because you made a bad decision doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Turn that into a positive experience where you learn now that you can stop making things worse. So mom, did you want to say something?
Yes, dad's transportation back at home, he was just in a car accident. So I know it's not up to us how the case goes, but I'm more transportation wise and here in Fort Worth to make sure that if the case does remain here, that I can handle those matters. With dad working 6 days a week in the construction field, his time getting off, it could make this.
So mom, let me explain this to you. I'm going to interrupt you. I apologize. So the law in Texas with juvenile cases is we try and have the local juvenile probation department supervise the child.
Okay.
That's the goal, is because we want the supervision to be in his community instead of shuffling the kid back and forth.
Yes.
So if it works out, our probation departments think it's best for Henderson County to supervise him. We're going to go ahead and try and make that happen. We want to do what's best for Zion so that when he becomes an adult, he's not on that pathway to
Absolutely.
right?
I
That's
agree.
our goal. We just, we don't want him a record. He doesn't need
No.
felony, anything like that. So, because Zion, you're looking at 2 different felonies right now if you were an adult. Okay. So just make good decisions. I think your mom and dad are good people. They're probably leading you the right path. It's
Yes,
just up to
sir.
you whether you're going to listen to them or not. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right. So
sir.
I'm releasing you now to your mom. You
Thank you.
need to go back to your dad so you can go back to school.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So at this point, I'm going to turn the docket over to Judge Porter for a couple 10 days, and I will return from some under 14-year-olds. Judge Porter.
Thank you, Judge Kim.
Thank you.
And before we continue, I want to thank everybody who may be watching these hearings on YouTube who expressed concern for my health last week. I was having a little bit of allergy problems, so thank you for your concern. Nash Bryson Burns. Are you Mr. Burns? All right, Mr. Burns, pull your chair closer to the computer. I can barely hear you. All right, Mr. Burns, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Lofton, is here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning.
The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. Do we have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. All right. And are you Miss Burns?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right, Miss Burns. Tell me how you're related to Nash Bryson Burns.
He's my son.
All right. Do you want your son to come home today?
Yes, I do.
He is level 1-0 in the back. Mr. Dotson, you believe this is appropriate for him to be released on the electronic monitor?
Yes, Your Honor. I think he left the house in the past, but comes home for 24 hours, but he does have a history of that, and just past behaviors just to help in keep him focused on if he gets to go home during the conditions of probation.
All right. Ms. Burns, you understand that if I release your son to you today, you're responsible for bringing him back when he's supposed to come back for court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that if he's supposed to be back for court and he fails to appear, 2 bad things can happen. The first one is I can issue what's called a directive to apprehend. That's essentially an arrest warrant for him. The second bad thing concerns you. If he doesn't show up, I could also issue a warrant for your arrest. Now, knowing all of that, you still wish for me to release him today?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'm going to authorize his release on the
Your
electronic monitor.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Ms. Kiara Smith is here from CPS. She says there's a pending case, and I think she wanted to address you concerning. He also had, I found out, investigations in another county allegedly of sexual abuse of his half-sister, and CPS investigated that and found it reason to believe. So I just wanted to put those information out there, Your Honor.
Okay, that does change things. First of all, let me hear from Ms. Smith.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. I've been working with the family for a few months now. The family kind of disappeared on me. I was unable to find them, and they were on C-Scal, and we were notified when he was arrested. So I also found out there was another case in McLennan County for sexual abuse, and it was found as reason to believe they were also trying to locate mom and the child.
Mom, what other children live in the home?
None.
Okay. Ms. Smith, Mr. Dotson, given the fact that there are no other children at the home, do you have any concerns?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right. Mr. Lofton, do you have any objection to releasing your client on the electronic monitor?
No, sir. No,
All right,
sir.
that'll be granted. Thank you, everybody. Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Marco Chazaretta. Good morning, Mrs. Wehe.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today?
Oh, better than I deserve, that's for sure.
Yes, I wish you well.
Morning, Marco. How are you?
Good, and you?
Better than I deserve. All right, Marco. We know each other. My name's Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Rita Uzowihe, is here. I personally know what's going on in this case. Court previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct. You've been level 1-0 since November 23rd, Marco, and that's awesome. However, I know that if I were to release you today, based on your history in the past, even with me, that you would be a danger to the public if I let you out. So I can't do that right now. All right. So I got to order you to be detained. Ms. Uzowihe, what can I help you with?
Yes, Your Honor, because this might also change the situation. Your Honor, I understand the courts saying that he would be a danger, but the thing that I just want to bring to the courts is the fact that the reason why he got back to detention is the fact that when he got released, he had left with the electronic monitoring, right? And then, of course, he got returned. So that was for a couple of hours. And he has been in detention for a while now. The judge had ordered for a placement search. Okay, so Your Honor, this is a child. Okay, so they are, that's in the process right now. However, the mom has not kind of been cooperative in terms of like appearing, taking responsibility and stuff like that. However, I was able to find an aunt in the name of Cynthia Amador. Cynthia is keeping Marcus' two brothers, and of course have raised his own children. None of them is in trouble. So the reason why Marcus is where he is because of adequate supervision at home. So we have a relative that's going to step up, and mom is in agreement. I spoke to this relative, I believe. She logged in. I'm not sure if she's still on because she's at work, works for a law office, but she's been on. She logged in since 10:30. I'm not sure if Miss Cynthia is still on the Zoom right now.
I believe Ms. Watkins is on the Zoom hearing.
Okay, all right. So she's able to step up. The other thing I need to bring to the court's attention is the fact that after the psychological evaluation, his IQ is 60. So we're gonna have a problem finding a placement for him. So right now he's been scheduled for fitness to proceed evaluation. That is scheduled for January the 10th, and the report is expected back January 18th. Your Honor, I'm asking and advocating that this child be released. He has shown outstanding behavior in the detention center over there, and I don't have any doubt within me that he is going to do well. I don't believe, and there is actually no evidence so far to prove that he would be a danger to the community or even a danger to himself. So, and I believe that Ms. Cynthia Amador is going to take responsibility. The other thing is that he is scheduled for adjudication tomorrow. I don't even know what we are going to adjudicate because he has already been adjudicated. So placed on probation and just came back right out. Now, I also need to let the court know that this child has never even been given an opportunity within the community in terms of taking services. He has not taken any. So that's what we are asking for. But I'm going to ask for a motion for continuance just to let you know, because we are to get all these things sorted out with the prosecutor also. Your Honor, are we asking for release to Miss Cynthia Amado?
All right. Thank you, Ms. YYYY. Your many points are very well taken. Unfortunately, I'm familiar with Marco's history. And it's that history that I have to weigh against the very, very, very good number of points that you made. And I think his history demonstrates that if I let him out, he's just going to do whatever he wants, whether he's with his mom, whether he's with his aunt, he's just going to go off on the rails on his own. And based on that, I can't let him go. So I'm going to order that he be detained today.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening to me.
Kaylin Page. Good morning, Miss Page. How are you?
Good.
Miss Page, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Herrick, is here. Do you see her on the screen?
Hi, Kaylin. Hey.
All right. Now, you've been level 1-0 since the 23rd of December. However, and the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention. All right, Ms. Herrick, give me your best shot.
Well, it's my understanding that a placement search was being done for her. We don't have or I don't at least have the results of a placement search. I know we had some back and forth struggles trying to figure out who her guardian would be. And that has been figured out at this point. And so since we now have someone who's stepping up to be Kaylin's guardian, I would love it if she could have a chance to be released until we figure out what her final result is going to be.
Mr. Victorson, correct me if I'm wrong. She's been accepted at Woodward Academy in Iowa. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor, I've been on vacation for 2 weeks. That's news to me.
And me as well. So.
Okay, I think she's been accepted at Woodward Academy, and I believe we have our next setting on the 7th.
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and order her continued detention. All right. And that's based on her history. All right. But Kaylin, I do congratulate you on being level 1-0, and you have been since right before Christmas. That's awesome. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a good role model to the other kids in the back. Okay. That means a lot to me. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
Jamarian Jarrell Ransom. Morning, Mr. Houston. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Judge. Hope you're all right.
Okay. Are you Mr. Ransom?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ransom, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Houston, is here. You see him on the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention. I will note that you have been level 1-0 in the back for the last 2 days. However, given the gravity of the underlying offense and the fact that a weapon was used in the alleged underlying offense, I do not yet feel comfortable releasing you. I believe that if I were to release you today, you'd be a danger to the community. Keep up your level 1-0, and that may give me reason to change my mind later on, okay? But not yet. So I'm going to order your continued detention. Thank you, Mr. Ransom.
Yeah, can I say something?
Pardon?
Yeah, can I say something?
If you want to ask me a question, you can ask me a question. But if you just want to make a statement, it's likely that your attorney does not want you to make a statement because it might hurt you, okay? So do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, yes, sir.
What's your question?
I'm trying to see like about going to Dallas. Like, I can't transfer me to Dallas.
Well, that's something that'll have to be taken up at a later date. You should talk to your attorney about that possibility, okay?
Yes,
But that's not a given, all right?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Juan Carlos Soto. Good morning, Mr. Soto. How are you?
Good.
I didn't think we were going to see each other again anytime soon.
Excuse me?
Nothing. All right, Mr. Soto, we know each other. My name's Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here. Do you see him on the screen? Mr.
No.
Adler, go ahead and say something.
Morning.
Yeah.
All right. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your detention based on the directive to apprehend that I think I'm the one who issued. I also note that I was the one who placed you on probation back in November. Now, you've been level 1-0 in the back since the 14th of December, and that's very, very good for you. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Judge asked that he be released to his, I think his mom and his sister always appear at our hearings. I know you did place him on probation. I know you gave him some pretty strict warnings. I would actually, Mr. Reyes is his ongoing probation officer, but he's not here. Ms. Lopez is here. I would almost defer to Ms. Lopez and what her thoughts are.
All right, Ms. Lopez.
Your Honor, basically nothing has been filed yet. Mr. Reyes did submit the VOCO. He's been in there 29 days on level 1. You know, if all possible, the court would like to release him. We'd ask he be released on EM again, kind of a second opportunity, not to break the rule of the EM if possible.
Mr. Soto, how did you get so lucky to have both Mr. Reyes and then a substitute, Ms. Lopez, come in for you?
Oh, lucky enough.
You're very lucky, because I'm telling you, there aren't too many probation officers in the back. One, who would go to bat for you after you've done nothing. And two, that I trust enough to follow their recommendation. But both Mr. Reyes and Ms. Lopez are those kind of people that if their gut is telling me to give you, if their gut is telling them to tell me to give you a second chance, I listen to that pretty closely. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Mr. Soto. Am I making a mistake by giving you a second chance?
No, sir.
What's going to be different this time?
Like, you want to hear my plan, or do you just want to?
Yeah, I want to hear your plan.
Well, I was thinking about changing the school so I won't have to be around those people around me. Bad choices around me.
What school were you in?
Brewer High School.
Which one?
Brewer High School.
Okay. And have you talked to your parents about changing schools?
No, not yet, but I was gonna go home, and I thought about doing online so I wouldn't have to leave the house if y'all are gonna put me lecture online.
Do y'all have a good Wi-Fi connection at home?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mom, can you, if I release him, it will be on the electronic monitor. What can you do to assure me that he will be back to court when he's supposed to be?
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Okay. What can y'all do to tell me that you can make sure that Mr. Soto will come back to court when he's supposed to come back to court?
I'm sorry. Is he basically saying que le hace decir para que regrese al corte? Cuando tiene corte.
Señora, necesita decirle al juez que usted lo va a traer para la corte.
Ok, yo me hago cargo de traerlo las veces que tenga que venir él aquí a la corte.
She will make sure he gets to court when necessary, Your Honor.
Can you help him get enrolled in online school?
¿Lo va a ayudar a meterse a la escuela por internet?
Sí.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ¿Hay armas en la casa?
No.
Nada?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that second chance, Mr. Soto. I'm gonna authorize his release, but Mr. Soto, you're on lockdown. For the first 2 weeks, you're not to leave that house whatsoever. If you have no electronic monitor violations for this first 2 weeks, then Ms. Lopez, after that, we'll consider exceptions for church, but he's got to earn that right, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the only exceptions for right now are if he has to go with mom to the school to transfer that school enrollment, and then for medical appointments, at least for the first 2 weeks.
Yes,
and
sir.
then after that, we'll consider exceptions for school, for church, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be the order of the court.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Adler. Onquez Thomas.
Your Honor, this is David Van Hook. I'm handling it for Ms. Campos.
Oh, thank you.
And mom is on. It's Miss, and I apologize if I didn't mispronounce your name, Achia Thomas.
Ishaya Thomas.
Ashaya. Oh, that's a cool name. All right. Are you Mr. Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thomas, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And Amy Mills could not be here today. So Mr. Sierra, do you mind filling in for Ms. Mills?
No, Your Honor, no issue.
Thank you, sir. All right. Mr. Thomas, the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your initial detention. I will also note that Judge Terry put you on probation back in August, and that you have a hearing on a motion to modify scheduled for, I believe, this Friday. Is that correct, Mr. Van Hook?
Yes, sir. That is correct. It is scheduled Friday the 8th at 1:30, and he's also been accepted at Woodward Academy. So if everything goes as planned on Friday, then we can make efforts on when the actual date he will be accepted into the program.
Oh, all right. He's been level 1-0 in the back since the 9th. However, Mr. Thomas, when Judge Terry placed you on probation, that was an agreement between the two of y'all that, among many other things, that you not committed any new offenses. And based on the evidence I had before the court, it at least suggests that you broke your promise to Judge Terry. And that broken promise would have occurred less than 3 months after that promise was made. So I don't feel comfortable releasing you right now. I think if you promised me that you'd behave yourself, I'm not sure I can trust you yet. I'm just not there yet. So based on that, I'm going to order your continued detention, but you need to keep level 1-0 between now and Friday, because either myself or Judge Terry or Judge Kim will take that into consideration at any hearing we have on Friday, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Ms. Thomas, thank you for being here for your son, okay?
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Judge Kim now. Although, Judge Kim, if you want me to do the next hearing, I can do that one. Jameson and I know each other.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Jamish.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, the court will make a finding. Will make a determination that under Texas Family Code 54.08, which states that in court proceedings involving children under the age of 14 shall be closed to the public. And this supersedes the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution. So we are going to close these proceedings to the public and the YouTube live